I own Utah Family Doulas, and we are a doula agency, so I contract out different doulas for different jobs, basically. There's not a huge story to it. I knew that I wanted something that would be really search engine optimization friendly, and so that's where the Utah came in. And then I knew that I wanted to attract families. I wanted it to be inviting. And so I took different words that would attract my target market, and Utah Family Doulas just fit perfectly and had the inviting feel that I was going for. We provide educational, physical, and emotional support throughout pregnancy, birth, and the postpartum periods. We have different services that go along with it. We have birth doula, postpartum doula, placenta encapsulation, birth photography, as well as a few other cool things that go along with those things. But essentially, we assist families as they grow. How did I get started? Well, I started as a doula a few years ago in Colorado, and I was working for an agency there called Colorado Mountain Doulas. And I really liked working for the agency just because they kind of took care of all the business stuff, and I just got to be a doula. And then we moved because of the military. We actually got out of the military and came back here where I am from. And I noticed there were no active doula agencies here. And since I had started as a doula, I've taken a lot of business trainings and other things that made me feel more confident in doing the marketing and the networking and all the other business related things. So I decided to start my own agency and help other doulas that either don't like doing the business side and just want to do the fun birth stuff, or just their strengths lie in those other things. So that's how we got our start. Well, Utah Family Doulas is still really new. We just launched a few months ago, so we're not really big, but what we do to continue that growth consistently, we market a lot. We do things like this interview to market. We network with other doulas and with care providers, midwives, chiropractors, OBGYNs, all the different care providers that will assist people during their pregnancies and postpartum periods. Basically, yeah, we just do a lot of networking. We talk to the care providers specifically because we want to be part of the birth team rather than up against the birth team. We think it's really important that we work seamlessly for our clients so that they have one great birth team that's taking care of them. Basically, I was inspired to start it because coming from that place in Colorado where I didn't really know what I was doing at first, I know that there are a lot of doulas here that just really don't like doing the business stuff, or just they like it, but they don't really know how to make it all happen. So I was inspired to start it to kind of assist other doulas to help them grow their businesses and also to assist families. The thing I love the most about my business would be working with all of our clients, seeing how much we can make a difference in their lives as they go through this really hard transition of either starting a new family or growing their family. What we do is just kind of help ease the transition. We work with a lot of high-risk clients that it can be kind of scary. I personally specialize in high risk and multiple births, and those things can be really scary a lot of the time. And also coming home with baby can be really scary, and sometimes you don't really know what to do with them. And so the thing I love most is kind of helping my clients find their own strength, and we don't really do anything for them necessarily. We help them figure out how to do things for themselves and how to be stronger and become the parents they want to be. My favorite moment was when I brought on my first independent contractor. I have two, but my both of them are absolutely incredible. But bringing on my first one was really exciting just because it was a sign of growth in the business and a sign that I needed that extra help. And so signing her was kind of the catalyst to signing my next one. And I have a few others that I'm in discussions with, and maybe we'll be growing even more. So that's been my favorite. A lot of ways, actually. It helps support my family financially, but it also works mostly around my family's schedule. So I'm not in the office all day long, and that's great because I have young kids. And I also think it really paints a cool picture for my kids. They get to see me helping financially, they get to see me being strong, they get to see me working with other families, and I just think it's a really great lesson for my kids. When I first started as a doula, it's been a few years, I kind of just jumped in and I just picked a name that I thought sounded birthy, and I didn't really have any target market in mind. I didn't have any sort of direction really, or any kind of business training or know-how. And so I just kind of jumped in and I floundered like really bad. And then I started working with the agency that I mentioned before in Colorado. And while there, I had an excellent mentor. We knew I wouldn't be there permanently because of the military. And she mentored me. She helped me find really good business trainings. She gave me some business training and advice, and she still does give me advice sometimes. And so overcoming that has been a process of figuring out what I'm supposed to be doing and how to actually make it a business rather than a fun hobby I do sometimes. So far, the biggest challenge is that, especially here, everybody thinks that a doula is only for home births or unmedicated births. And so when they hear I'm a doula, they say, oh, that's kind of cool. So did you have all home births? And is that how you give birth? And I kind of have to take a step back and remember, oh, that's what people think a doula is. But that's actually not what we are. We assist anybody, especially our company is very focused on non-judgmental support. We provide benefits and risks to any choice you make. We help provide that education so that everyone can make the choice that they need to make for their family, because it's not always going to be the same. This is my second attempt. So what I did differently was getting the training, getting a mentor, and making sure my systems were in place before jumping in. And right now, I don't think there's anything I would do differently, but I'm sure that I will come up with things later. Along those same lines, business training before jumping in, find a mentor that can kind of help lead you along for the first little bit, that will answer questions and help you feel more secure in what you're doing, and definitely getting systems in place before taking on clients. Well, I made a commitment when I first started that I would never quit on a bad day. So every time I have a bad day, and there are a lot when you own your own business, there are a lot of bad days. So every time I have a bad day, I remember that and I say, okay, I'm not quitting on a bad day. If I'm ever going to quit, it's going to be on a day that I love everything about my business and I'm where I want to be, and I just am not feeling it anymore. So I remember that, and I also remember my kids. Again, I help support them financially, and I want them to learn the lessons of being a hard worker and working through hard times.